After we filmed, Juju asked me if he said a random NBA team, could I name the starting five? And everyone stared at me. What is up, guys? We're back with another episode of Fresh Daily Meggs. This one's going to be a little more inspirational. I don't know. You may think it's inspirational. You may not. But I just want to give a little insight. Obviously, I feel like I have a lot of insight. I mean, everyone does about kind of experiences they've had in life. But I created a list last night of Megan's top 10 rules to live by. So if you feel like you need something, if you feel a little lost, I feel like this might help. I don't know, it might not, but I've learned a lot through just my life and also social media, just kind of growing through that, through overtime, through relationships, friendships, and I just feel like this might help. So bear with me here. All right, well, the first one is get off social media. I'm going to tell you why. And yes, I'm on social media all the time. I get it. I like social media when I have to post. When I'm usually not posting, I'm probably not on social media. Like, I don't like it. It gives me a lot of anxiety. I mean, I mentioned that in one episode, but TikTok gives me, like, a lot of anxiety, actually, that, like, I have to get off of it. I sometimes have to, like, delete it just to not look at it because, you know, the internet's a hard place. And whether you're an influencer or not, people are just mean. And people say things that aren't real, and people say things just to kind of bring you down and make you look bad and just to flat out hurt your feelings. And nothing really hurts my feelings, but I just prefer to keep negativity away and to not look at it. So, and also comparing yourself on social media, I'm going to be honest. How much is a Lambo? Like 200,000? I don't know. How much can I rent a Lambo for 24 hours? Maybe $500. All right, so that's a tiny fraction of the price. Think of how many people pose with like nice cars and you're like, wow, I really wish I was living that lifestyle, but instead I'm clocking into like my job at McDonald's. Like, I really wish I was like that. Do you realize how many people just hide behind their social media and they have problems behind the scenes? Even my life looks really good on social media, but everyone has their real struggles, okay? Never forget that. Social media, I could rent a Lambo and be like, I bought a Lambo, take some videos of me driving it, change outfits. You'd never know that I rented that, all right? So just think of that in every situation. You know, someone's posted up going out one night. Like, I have literally posted with my makeup done, hair done, whatever, and then actually never ended up going out. But I acted like I, like, went to some, like, big thing. But, like, sometimes I prefer to stay in and eat popcorn and watch TV. So by not really comparing to yourself on what people are managing to post, like, remember, people choose what to post. Like, you don't have cameras on you 24/7. Your Instagram is not a live reel of your life 24/7. Remember that for everybody. Like, you may think Kylie Jenner's life is so picture perfect, and maybe it is, but, like, we all have our struggles. We all have things that we don't want people to see. We all have things that we're insecure about that only maybe the people closest to us know. So just remember, not everything is picture perfect. But I think a lot of people know that, but just need a reminder because even it happens to me. Like, I post only the good parts of my life. Anyways, number 2, have a routine, okay? Having a routine is so important. All right, do you wake up in the morning and brush your teeth after you eat or before you eat? Okay, now do you switch that up every time? No, you don't. Little routines will help you always kind of stay in track and focus. I would recommend making a to-do list. Like, I have a to-do list, and it could be something as small as, like, putting the dishes away, to taking your medicine, to drinking 8 cups of water. Like, I put that stuff on my to-do list. I put, like, make food on my to-do list. I put do my homework on my to-do list. Make lists and have a routine because that kind of sets you up for success when you're always realizing that you have something to do. Even putting, like, relaxation time is something that should be on your to-do list. Like, always have time for everything. Don't just let your life go awry. How do you say that word? Awry. Don't let your life go awry, okay? Have a routine. And also, having a routine is important and having a to-do list because write stuff down the second. Like, I'm telling you, I know you're like, oh, I'll remember this, and then you forget it 2 seconds later. I know you do because I used to do that before I started writing everything down. Like, everything with friends, life, family, social media, overtime, school, like, I would forget everything if I didn't have a to-do list. But I have a to-do list for everything. Like, I write down all the stuff I need. So that's, like, super, super important. Don't ever forget that. Number 3 is kind of weird, but bear with me. Pretend life is a reality show. Not in the way that cameras are on you and you have to be perfect all the time. In a way that I thought of this last night. Now I gotta remember how I thought of this, because it's not the way to be perfect. Oh, like, be the star of your own life. Like, realize that you're important, and like, this is your show. This is your show. Everything you do is part of your show, whether it's a good episode or a bad episode. Like, this is your reality show. Like, your life is not a spin-off of somebody else's. And if you feel that way, no, your life's the reality show. Your life's the important one. You have your own intro, you have your outro, you have your middle parts. And guess what? All eyes are on you, because that should make you feel like you're important and you're special. A lot of people, I think, live for others. I think that's what I mean by that. Because I thought it was like really late last night. I changed one of them. But a lot of people live for others. And like, you can do that sometimes. Like, it's good to not be selfish. But it's also, you know, you come first. You're only you ever in this life. So pretend your life's a reality show. Pretend you're the star of it. And you can have your side characters. And your side characters can be important to you. But you are also important. Mwah. That's so good. Love yourself. I should add that one. Oh, now my fourth one is just do it. It sounds, Nike. That sounds self-explanatory. But hear me out. And this may sound a little tone deaf, but hear me out. You only have one life. I'm kidding. And you're only this young once, as you are today in this moment. Like, as you're watching this, you're only this young once. And if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not going to buy that pair of shoes because I'm going to want that $60 later, or whatever, how many shoes are expensive, actually, like $120. Buy the pair of shoes. Life is so short. And this may sound dark, but like, hear me out. You only get one life. And you never know what's going to happen next. You never know how much it's going to change in 1 second. You never know if it's going to end in a second. Spend that money. Buy the shoes. Eat the burger. You always have more. You can't buy more time. But you can fix what you've done. Like, if you eat a burger and you're like, oh my God, like, I need to go work out now. You really don't. All right? Enjoy life. Keep yourself healthy, though. Don't always eat burgers. But enjoy it. Like, let me tell you, if your life ended tomorrow and you wanted McDonald's and you didn't get it because you were like, like, I don't want to feel like bloated after, get the McDonald's, okay? Enjoy it. I never, what is that word? I never keep myself from like not doing something just because I think, oh, I'm going to feel this way about it later. I'm going to feel like, oh, I wasted money. No. Buy the expensive sushi. Who cares? Want to know why? Because you're going to enjoy it. Number 5 is have a release. So having a release is super important. What I mean by that, it can be big or little. Going for a run, going for a walk. Mine personally is a walk. Like, I go for a mental health walk where I turn on my favorite podcast. I like true crime. And you just tune out the world. And this is your moment. And that's your release. You have time to reflect, time to think, read a book, lay out in the sun if you live in a sunny state. I don't right now. Anything small. Take a walk with your dog. Take a nap. Little releases that make you feel good, that make you feel recharged are so important, because if you don't take time in your day to do something that you want to do, you're just going to be so worn out with yourself and be so frustrated at the world, and you're going to feel like it's a nonstop cycle. But it's okay to have time for yourself, and it's okay to choose to do something that you want to do. Like, you may feel like you have no time to do your homework, like you have to do all your homework and it's take 3 hours. In between, take a 20-minute nap. Go have a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Do something. Want to know why? Because let me tell you, it may feel like you have a million things to do, but if you don't have one thing on that list of something that you actually chose to do, you're going to drive yourself insane. Number 6, it's okay to burn bridges. And I don't mean all bridges, but I was just doing my podcast with Juju, and the way he described it was, life is like a pyramid. You start at the bottom with all these people, and when you go to the top, it's just you. And then just the direct, close people at the tip of the pyramid beneath you. I've lost a lot of people on this journey, and while I wish them well and while I hope they're doing good and happy as ever, some bridges you just have to burn. And, you know, sometimes people change, and that's okay. And no matter what it is in life, no matter who you are, sometimes you feel like you have to just do you, and that's okay. Don't burn all your bridges. You know, they say don't water a dead plant, but you know, sometimes you have to also put effort. Like, the world's not going to go your way all the time. Your friend isn't always going to reach out to you first. You know, sometimes you have to put a little bit of effort in. But if something really isn't benefiting you and really not kind of giving you the support you need when you need it, and vice versa, you have to offer that as well, because life is all about two-way relationships. Just burn that bridge. It's okay. You're going to be fine. Like, you know, even in the darkness, your shadow leaves you. You're always going to have yourself, but have a tight circle if you need to. Have a big circle if you need to. But don't feel bad about cutting someone off just because you've known them for a certain amount of time, because quality over quantity. There's people that I've known for years that I thought I'd be best friends with forever, and there's people that I met like 2 months ago that are my best friend now, and the people that I've known for years, don't even talk to them anymore. Doesn't matter. As long as you're happy, and I'm very happy, and you should be too. All right, let's go to the next one. Let people live, and they should let you live. Yeah. And this one I thought of when I think of social media, because if you go on TikTok, and I do it sometimes too in my head, I think about this, and I try not to butt my head into anybody else's life. It's not my business, but when you put stuff on social media, you're going to think things. If you just let people do them and think, if it's not affecting me, I just spit, cut that out. If you just let people do them and realize, like, if what they're doing is not really directly affecting me and hurting me, let them do their thing. Let them do their life. That's not your life. That's theirs. And then they should let you live. I think this motto works because, like, on social media, I feel like if you're not doing anything, people shouldn't come at you, but they're gonna anyways. But I really am a truly believer in, like, you let them live and they'll let you live. And if they don't let you live, then they have something bad going on in their life. They're miserable. There's something wrong with them. Maybe they just need a hug. And I try to remember that because, when people are mean to me on social media, I try to remember, like, there must be something going on that they feel the need to say something like that. But I hope one day they realize this. Let me live. I let you live, and we all do our own thing. And that's really important because, you're not, unless like your life is directly affecting that person's life, just do your thing and you do your thing. All right. Okay. Next one, your dreams are going to feel like a bunch of little nightmares and little like fever dreams. Like, why is this happening? Or, oh my God, this is a nightmare, before your dreams are reality. People, I always exaggerate this because, people will DM me on Instagram and be like, how do you do what you do? Like, I want to do exactly what you do. And I live my dream. I love my job. I love the people I work with. But I'm not going to say that wasn't always the case, but I wasn't always doing this. And I'm not going to say it's a nightmare, but I would never have thought that Megan 2 years ago would be here doing her podcast here with all the support that she has. I would never have thought that. I was doing something completely different over time. I was always willing to do everything, and I would do it with a smile, but I would never have thought that I would have grown to kind of making my own projects. Like, Megan used to kind of wait after until everyone left and watch the maid like clean the offices, and I would lock up and go home and go do my homework later at home. But that Megan would never have known that. Like, that was a fever dream, and now I'm here. So it's so crazy because you guys never really know where you're going to end up. So never lose sight. Like, it's just so crazy because like life will take so many unexpected turns, and where you are now, you're going to think like, oh, I'm not doing enough for where I want to be. Trust me, you are. Like, you're doing plenty enough for where you want to be. So don't worry if life feels like crap right now, because everything gets better and you fall into place eventually. And everyone's on different journeys and different paths at different times. Just because somebody is doing this thing at 18 years old doesn't mean you have to be doing that at 18 or 20 or 21, all that. Even when you're older, when you see someone else like maybe bought a house, like, you don't have to buy a house if you don't want to buy a house. Like, all that stuff. Like, never compare yourself to other people's timelines, because your timeline runs on a completely different path. They didn't have to go through what you went through, and you didn't have to go through what they went through. Stop comparing yourself. I think that's just a life rule. Don't compare yourself to people. You only have yourself. Oh, this is a good one. Have a hobby. Let me tell you, people like sometimes get so focused on what they have to do. I said this kind of earlier, like their job, their homework, the school, whatever, just daily activities, that I feel like you need to have something that makes you you and something that you're purely interested in. So like, I have like a lot of random hobbies. Like, I like to collect shells. I like to go on walks on beach. I like to go for walks. I like to paint. I love painting. And I love reading books. Like, I love history books. I love history movies. So have like little hobbies that you guys focus on, and don't ever lose sight of those. Like, I wish I never stopped doing art. For a long time I would stop painting, and I used to paint a lot as a kid, and I wish I didn't stop because I thought it was not worth it. But if something feels good and makes you feel good and it's like a serotonin release, do it. I don't care. Even if it's not going to go anywhere. That's what a hobby is. Hobby is just for you and your enjoyment. Have a hobby. It's so important. The last one is you deserve happiness. So from going on social media, sometimes, obviously I have bad days and I have good days. I have more good days than bad days, but something that I wish people would realize that I feel for them is that everyone deserves happiness and everyone deserves to feel worthy of that. And sometimes people don't think they are. I think that's why people get like really depressed, is they feel like they don't deserve to have happiness. They don't feel like they're worthy of anything. And that is not true. Like, I'm telling you now, if you feel like you're down in the dumps, like, let me tell you right now, you deserve to not feel that way. You deserve to be happy. And so that's what I try to think to myself. It's like, I feel like when someone kind of comes at me, it's because they're not happy right now. And I feel like they deserve happiness. And even while someone's comment could make me sad, I still feel that in my heart, that they deserve happiness. And if they were truly happy, they wouldn't be saying that. And sometimes if I was truly happy, like, I wouldn't respond back and clap back at people sometimes, because sometimes I get a little upset. But, you know, life is hard. We all only have each other. If we just lived in harmony and had a good time, maybe had, like, I don't know, your favorite cake every once in a while, life would be all good. Obviously, there's going to be problems, but handle things with grace, handle it with dignity, and realize that if you are just grateful for what you have, then you'll be happy 90% of the time. You need the 10%. Life is like a wave, though. When you have bad parts, it makes you appreciate the good part. So when your life is like this, you're like, I'm never going to get out of it. And then you go up here and you're like, I'm so glad I got out of it. And it happens again, but that's okay. Because if you had all good and all bad, like, you'll never have balance. You need a little bit of balance. You need a little bit of reality. I mean, come on. All right. That's my 10 rules to live by. Hopefully this touched somebody in your heart and your soul. I love you guys. I love you guys always. Even the people that are haters, I love you. And I hope you have a good day. And that's Megan's top 10 rules to live by. Peace out.